There's one thing that I have to say that everybody needs to hear, and that is this ain't no damn kids movie. There is so much that goes way over the heads of children. Like, there's deep, deep concepts and real life struggles that people deal with in life, and they are like beautifully portrayed here, but that's not really for kids. Hey everybody, so the fam just finished the movie night and we chose to watch Soul with my wife and the two girls, and I decided let me go in the back and talk about it before I shut it down. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. We do movie commentaries, spoiler chats, trailer reactions, trailer reviews, trailer breakdowns. I talk about movies quite a bit. So let's get into talking about Soul. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, and I have to say, first thing right off the bat, and you can see it in the commercials, that the animation style that they use in this movie is very impressive. I like it a lot, and if I'm making a general statement about the movie, I would have to say it's incredibly authentic. Authentic is probably the best word that's used to describe what you see when you're watching Soul. Speaking about the authenticity of the movie in general, as a black man, an African American man, I must say that I love the way that the African Americans throughout the film, the people of color throughout the film were displayed and portrayed. Something that I love so much about the movie is the fact that this movie is about a black man, and it takes place in a black community at a school that is, relatively mixed, but you have a Hispanic principal, and you have children of different colors and races, and the story revolves around an African American, yet it's not a specifically African story. And here's what I mean. White people like jazz too. There's any genre of music that this movie could have been about, yet it wasn't about any genre of music. It was specifically about jazz and his love of jazz. And again, white people love jazz too. This movie could have featured anyone, but it featured an African American character, and it felt good to see. In this movie, there are people of color throughout the movie, as I alluded to earlier. It felt good to see, and it didn't feel forced. There are so many times where you'll watch a film and you'll think to yourself like, man, it's a white, centered character, and there are people of color sprinkled throughout. It feels like tokenism. This does not. This feels like a specific African American story being told and being presented in a very unique and authentic way. Like, nobody felt out of place, no character felt forced. It just felt good to see something built around us, and it didn't have to be like straight out of Africa or slavery or issues that are normally associated with our community. Like, it wasn't any of those things. It was just a man and his love for music, and that love for music creating his connection to what he felt was life at that time, and a journey that he goes on. It's great. And it could have been anybody, but it was us, and it felt good that it was us. Continuing along that path of authenticity, so there's a smaller YouTuber that I follow. I'll link his review to Soul probably right at this point, and he said on Twitter that this movie creates a New York that is so real that even the street signs are designed the same. Now, I've never lived in New York, but I have visited, and there are things that occur in this movie that you will see and relate to if you've ever been to New York. Like, there are certain things that'll click in your head. Like, yo, I remember when somebody told me about not doing that. I remember getting on the subway, and this almost happened to me, and I was warned about it. Like, those things kind of pop up. Even if you just visited New York, there are certain things that are so unique to the area, and they show up in this film. Again, authenticity. Overall, with no spoilers, I would have to say this is a damn good movie. It was entertaining for my kids for the most part, and it engaged me and my wife up until the very last moments of the movie. But there's one thing that I have to say that everybody needs to hear, and that is this ain't no damn kids movie. There is so much that goes way over the heads of children. Like, there's deep concepts and real life struggles that people deal with in life, and they are like beautifully portrayed here. But that's not really for kids. I think, Trolls, with the bright colors and the songs, every few minutes, and very simple conflicts, sing along atmosphere that it creates, that's for kids. Soul is more like an animated movie for adults. And a damn good one at that, because, it made me sit back and think a little bit. But my kids, my 6-year-old fell asleep. And my 3-year-old, we got about toward the last act of the film, she kind of like, I'm out of here. I don't want to go to sleep yet, so I'm gonna to go dance and play with blocks. Not for kids, 100%, but definitely a very, very, very good movie. Extremely authentic, extremely deep. It'll cause you to think about things that you may not have anticipated thinking about. Very, very good movie. Made me even rewrite my top 5 of the year. So, great movie, Soul. If you have time, you have Disney Plus, put that thing on, give it a watch. You will not be disappointed. That's all I have for this one. Enjoy yourself. Guard your heart. Come back and see me sometime soon.